Good morning, everybody. This is Ranganathan again. Sorry for last 2 weeks. I had some problem. The fonts were small. My eyesight had a problem, so I just got it corrected. I hope this week will go more smoothly. Thank you very much for joining me today for the 70th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and India. This is the 37th theme in our total target of 50 themes in 50 weeks. And today, the topic will be we are going to take you on a journey around Japan through Japanese stamps. That's what last 2 weeks we saw uh, the various sceneries by visiting Japan. That is more like a tourism in Japan. This is your journey in Japan. Maybe it's overlapping thing, but the slides are different, and the stamps selected for this are also different. Thank you very much. Let's enjoy this presentation. Now, the first one is Kyoto. Anybody who is going to make a trip to Japan cannot but see Kyoto. If we are talking about Tokyo, of course, obviously, the next place for us to travel and see and enjoy ourselves is Kyoto. My Journey stamp series, based on the concept of My Journey, the stamps depict scenery of sightseeing destinations seen from one's point of view, as well as one's own scenery found during the journey, such as the lifestyle, the local products, and based on that, this week's theme, the slide for this theme is the Kyoto I found. Now, Kyoto is the capital of Kyoto Prefecture and one of the oldest municipalities in Japan, having been chosen in 794 as the new seat of Japan's imperial court by Emperor Kammo. The original city named Heian-kyo was arranged in accordance with the traditional Chinese Feng Shui, following the model of the ancient Chinese capital Chang'an Lingdong. The emperors of Japan ruled from Kyoto the following 11 centuries until 1869. Kyoto is considered the cultural capital of Japan and a major tourist destination. It's a home of numerous Buddhist temples, Shinto shrines, places, and gardens, some of which have been designated collectively as the World Heritage Site by UNESCO. And prominent landmarks include the Kyoto Imperial Palace, Kiyomizu-dera, Kinkakuji, and Kyoto Tower. More than anything else, Kyoto is a place which really interests anybody. If you want to see the ancient tradesmen's work, like how they make the silk kimonos and other things, Kyoto is a place where the monozukuri, the excellence of the art of manufacturing, has born in Japan from Kyoto. Okay, so even though people have been doing before that, Kyoto brought it to prominence, and there have been many artisans with a tremendous amount of skills, and that's what we call as monozukuri. We also brought those sort of artisans once to Chennai. Kyoto is not only for arts, it's also known for its origins in manufacturing. Now, this stamp sheet, a mini sheet, was released on the 19th August 2016 in Kyoto. Now, also just put an enlarged view of the stamps. See 2277A and B. Okay, autumn leaves reflected on the surface of the water in Togetsu-kyo. The bridge, the Togetsu-kyo Bridge, has been a landmark in Kyoto's Arashima district for over 400 years. Then we have the two set of stamps, C227C and D. Statue of Gakko Bosatsu and the Daigoji Temple. Daigoji is a Shingon Buddhist temple in Fujimiku, Kyoto, and Bosatsu Buddha statue is the seat of Yakushin. Then we have the C227E and the F. You can see them on the side, the stamp, which is Yasuyen Garden, Sanzen Temple, and Sanze-nin site was adopted in the 10th century, and the present building and garden date from 17th century. The stamps depict them. Then we have the C2277G and H, Nagoya Post Office. Kyoto Sanjo Gakumachi Post Office is the post office located in Nagakyo Ward, Kyoto. C2277I and J, Moon Sodaiji Temple. Sodenji Temple is a temple in Kyoto, which has a nice dry garden next to it. Then the next mini sheet is on 14th April 2017, Enoshima. This is a very interesting place nearer to Tokyo. Enoshima is a small offshore island, about 4 kilometers in circumference, and at the mouth of the Katase River, which flows into the Sagami Bay of Kanagawa Prefecture. Administratively, Enoshima is a part of the mainland city of in the city of Fujisawa, and is linked to Katase section of that city by a 389-meter long bridge. Home to some of the closest sandy beaches and coastline to Tokyo and Yokohama, the island is hub of local resort area, reachable by train from Tokyo and Yokohama. There's the stamp sheet you are seeing here. It was released in 14th April 2017. It is a 67.5 by 187 millimeters. And if you see, this has been printed with offset lithography. All the stamps in this series are all self-adhesive, and they're commemorative stamps called mini sheet. And if you see, there are 10 stamps, each of 52 ends face value. Then Enoshima Sea Candle and Seagulls. The first stamp you see is a Enoshima Sea Candle and Seagulls. Enoshima Sea Candle, also known as a Shoran Observatory and Lighthouse, is an observation tower and lighthouse located on the Samuel Cooking Garden on the small tidal island of Enoshima, which is completed in 2003. The sea candle was built to celebrate the 2002 centenary of the Enoshima Electric Railway. The next stamp is showing you the Enoshima Electric Railway, which is then is for Denki. Denki is electricity, then train. The original Enoshima Electric Railway opened the line on the 1st September 1902. The company subsequently went through a series of ownership changes. The third Enoshima Electric Railway Company was formed on the 1st September 1981 as a subsidy of the Odakyu line, which starts from Shinjuku in Tokyo. The route is 10 kilometers long and has a rail gauge of 3 feet 6 inches. The line connects Kamakura and Fujisawa. That is the Enoden train. Then we have the Enoshima. Next is showing the Enoshima Island from the beach. If you see, there's an island which is connected to the mainland by the bridge. Benzai Ten, the goddess of music and entertainment, one of the 7 gods of luck, what we call the Shichifuku-jin, is enshrined in this island. The island is entirely dedicated to this goddess, who is said to have caused to rise from the bottom of the sea in the 6th century. The island is a scene from Enoshima Engi, a history of shrines in Enoshima, written by the Japanese Buddhist monk Kokei in 1047 AD. Then we have the Kamakura Kokomae Station. Koko is high school. Kamakura Kokomae Station was opened in June 20, 1903 as Isaka Station. It was renamed to the present name on August 20, 1953. And in 1957, it was selected one of the 10 top stations of the Kanto region. Though small in size, It is known for its scenic beauty as it commands an open view of the Pacific Ocean and also Mount Fuji from the station platform. Then Enoshima is also very famous for the kiwi drink. Of course, kiwi, is a fruit, very well known fruit from Australia. The kiwi, along with the other fruits and also independent fruit, offer variety of refreshing drinks. Enoshima summer is a good season to enjoy this drink. And Enoshima is an island on the coast of Japan. Its sea is vast and large, and the air is particularly clean. Since it is a distance from the mainland, there are hardly any pollution issues, problems, and it's prime fishing city, and it is island surrounded by clean water. Directly next to Enoshima are two popular swimming beaches, and the beaches are also very popular for surfing. Okay, and in the it is called the Shonan Coast, 50 kilometers south of Tokyo, that is regarded as the birthplace of country's modern subculture. Shonan is the name of a region along the coast of Sagami Bay in Kagawa Prefecture, central Japan. To indicate this, Shonan coast is very popular for the surfing culture. The stamp shows you a dog standing on a surfing board and surfing through the sea and coming to the shore. Then we have the Enoshima Island, looks beautiful in the night as silhouette is very clear from the distant beach. You can see the stamp also, you can see the clear sky and the Enoshima Island as a silhouette and with a lot of stars. Many a time people in the beach can see a shooting star above the dark island silhouette. Enoshima and Kamakura. Basic info for the swimming beaches of Enoshima and Kamakura. It is almost common to all beaches. The swimming beach is open only period from July 1st to August 31st every year. With the setting sun at dusk, the beach looks beautiful. And then the setting sun adds color to the water and to the beach. The great Buddha of Kamakura is a bronze statue of Amida Buddha, which stands on the ground of Kotokuin Temple. With a height of 11.4 meters, it has long been the second tallest bronze Buddha statue in Japan, surpassed only by the statue in Nara's Todaiji Temple and some recent creations. This is again a mini sheet that was released, and this sheet was released on the 14th April 2017. And then if you see the first one, the statue was cast, the Buddha statue was cast and originally located inside a large temple hall. Originally, that is it. However, the temple buildings were destroyed multiple times by the typhoons and the tsunami in the 14th and 15th centuries. So, since the late 15th century, the Buddha has been brought and standing in open air. Of course, it's a bronze Buddha made from plates. So you can also go inside the Buddha. There's a way for you to climb inside the Buddha. Then cycling in Kamakura, while beautiful in any season, Kamakura is especially pleasant in late spring or early summer when it is sunny, warm and breezy and clear enough to afford a serene postcard perfect views. You take it will be beautiful to be printed as your own postcard. Somebody is planning for a desk calendar, they can try to take some other views of Kamakura. And because from there you can also see perfect views of Mount Fuji. To enjoy this area, it is recommended to rent a bicycle. If you are in Kamakura, you want to go around, see the beach, also see Mount Fuji in the right season, then rent a bicycle. Not only one can enjoy the refreshing wind, but he or she can expand the range of their journey within Enoshima and stop by places of interest and take in the scenery without getting tired out. There are a number of rent-a-cycle shops on the way in the island. So you don't have to carry a cycle all the way from here. Experience a part of the samurai warrior culture and spirit by viewing the Yabusame. Yabusame is archery from the running back of a horse. That is, horse will not be stationary. The horse will be running. You will have the targets. The marksman or the archer will sit on the thing. From the speeding horse, he has to shoot a stationary target. That's Yabusame in Kamakura. On the third Sunday of April, Yabusame is presented at the dirt road crossing below the Surugaoka Hachimangu shrine. Okay, then we have the Ajisai or hydrangeas bloom in Kamakura, which is called as Ajisai, from the mid-June to early July. Rain or sunshine, the season in Kamakura is hectic. Local Japanese people come from prefectures all over the country to see this flower. And this is not a hidden secret. People all come to see the Ajisai, which is blue in color and other colors also. It's a beautiful scene, worth taking a lot of pictures too. Then the enchanting bamboo garden at Okugoji Temple at Kamakura, just en route south of Tokyo. Visitors can admire the strength and beauty of 2,000 moso bamboo tucked beyond the Zen temple gate. Of course, Arashima is another place in Kyoto, which is very famous for its bamboo garden or bamboo grove. And this Kamakura bamboo grove, the serenity of the Okokuji bamboo garden will immediately transform the visitors with a peace of mind. Bamboo makes, when the wind passes through a bamboo grove, it makes a beautiful sound. I walked through the Arashima bamboo grove. I've enjoyed it, so I'm telling you. And then Anmitsu, the traditional meal. The traditional Japanese sweets use kantan jelly, azuki bean paste, and mitsu brown sugar syrup. The hot and humid weather definitely calling for a traditional Japanese cold dessert. Amitsu is kantan jelly topped with fruits, dango, azuki bean paste, and ice cream, and mitsu dark brown colored syrup. That's I think you will all enjoy, especially in a good summer, in a place like Enoshima. Gokurakuji Station. Gokurakuji Station is a commuter railway station on the Enoshima electric train Enoden, located in the Gokurakuji neighborhood of the city of Kamakura. Kanagawa Prefecture, that's Kanagawa Prefecture. Of course, Kamakura is a part of Kanagawa Prefecture. This station is open on April 1st, 1904, and in 1997, it was selected one of the top 100 top stations of Kanto region by a selection committee commissioned by the Japanese Ministry of Transportation. Then we have the Hase Temple. Hasedera is what you call, Dera is, Watera has become, combining that, it's become Hasedera. It's a temple of the Jodo sect, famous for its 11-headed statue of Kannon, the goddess of mercy. The 9.18 meter tall gilded wooden statue is regarded as one of the largest wooden sculptures in Japan and can be viewed in the temple's main building, the Kannon-do Hall. According to the legend, it is carved from the same tree as the similarly tall Kannon statue worshipped at the Hasedera temple in Nara prefecture. Then this, the scenery of the trip sheet. You can see the person traveling has made this thing. A sheet of 7 self-adhesive stamps, which are there. You can see the stamps there, and denominated as 82 yens, and also 5 of them denominated as 82, and 2 of them denominated as 120 yens. It is printed in a limited quantities and sold only in a package containing stationery that sold for 1,200 yens. This is issued in 2017, again 14th April, 280 by 100, 210 millimeters, multicolor, many sheet, commemorative, and perforation is die cut because it is self-adhesive, it's die cut, so you can peel off and then paste it. And then printed in offset lithography, and self-adhesive, and the total sheet costs 650 yens. Okay, the scenery of the trip, if you look at it, the first stamp is Mount Fuji and the sea. While Mount Fuji is Japan's highest mountain, it is one of the most popular destinations for hikers in Japan. Less popular, however, is hiking from the seaside to the summit of Mount Fuji. Okay, but with bilingual maps and Fuji City in Shizuoka Prefecture featuring English and Japanese guidance, it could be gaining traction among the overseas hikers. While the route has been technically doable for years, Fuji City is now formally designated as the Mount Fuji Tourism Climbing Route 3776, referring to the mountain height of 376 meters, that is 12,389 feet. A route map from the sea to Mount Fuji on top is also available. When we talk about sea on Mount Fuji, certainly one has to talk about Hokusai's great print called the Great Wave of Kanagawa. So this is a woodblock print that is made by the Japanese ukiyo-e artist Hokusai. Even now, right now, we have an exhibition of Hokusai prints in Chennai in India, conducted by the Consulate General of Japan and the Japan Foundation and the ABK OTS, Dosokai, our Japanese language school. Now, Hokusai made this probably late in 1831 during the Edo period of the Japanese history. The print depicts 3 boats moving through storm-tossed sea with large wave forming a spiral on the center. Okay, you can see it's a threatening wave, and Mount Fuji is visible in the background, giving you the perspective of the wave. And though the wave is smaller than Mount Fuji, because the distant perspective, Mount Fuji looks small. It's a very beautifully done. If you look at the wave, Hokusai has done everything. This is a very famous picture done by ukiyo-e, done by Hokusai. There is a big building in Russia. The entire wall, it's a glass thing, has been painted with this particular picture. And Mount Fuji in sea by Hokusai is a wonderful thing. And people also can climb from the seaside to top of Mount Fuji. That's why the first stamp is showing that. Then we have the Meigetsu Inn. Okay. Fukinzan Meigetsu Inn is a Rinzai Zen temple at Kenchoji School of Kita Kamakura, Kanagawa in Japan. Famous for its ajisai flowers. It is also known as the Temple of Ajisai Dera. That's a hydrangeas or Ajisai Dera. Dera has become Dera, phonetical change. The main object of worship is goddess Sho Kannon. Meigetsu Inn was built by Useugi Norikatan of a powerful Uesugi clan. I'm sorry. This was built by Uesugi Norikata of a powerful Uesugi clan, and the name itself derived from the Norikata's own posthumous name, Meigetsu. Then Surugaoka Hachimangu is the most important Shinto shrine in the city of Kamakura, in the Kamakura, Kanagawa prefecture. The shrine is a cultural center of the city of Kamakura and serves as a venue of many most important festivals with 2 museums. For most of the history, it served as Hachiman Shrine, which in later years of a Tendai Buddhist temple, typical of Japanese Buddhist architecture. Then we are going into a very interesting stamp. You see a rickshaw being pulled. People who are visiting Kamakura sitting on the rickshaw, sightseeing around the place. Rickshaws were independently invented in Japan in circa 1869 after the lifting of the ban on wheeled vehicles from the Tokugawa period, 1603 to 1868, and at the beginning of the period of rapid technical advancement in Japan. Starting in 1870, the Tokyo government issued a permit to build and sell this because it's pulled by people. It's called Jin rickshaw. The Jin rickshaw to a trio that are believed to be in Asia to be the rickshaw inventors, Izumi Yosuke, Takayama Kosuke, and Suzuki Tokujiro. In order to operate a rickshaw in Tokyo, a seal was required from these men. By 1872, Jin rickshaw became the main mode of transport in Japan, with about 40,000 rickshaws in service. Some of the rickshaws were artistically decorated with paintings and rear elevations. If the families were well off financially, they might have their own rickshaw as well. Generally, runners covered 30 to 50 kilometers in a day at an average traveling speed of 5 to 8 kilometers per hour. The Kamakura, and you can see this rickshaws in Kamakura and Asakusa in Tokyo, and they provide the rickshaw tours. And of course, payment is available, but still you can negotiate and fix up a price for the route that you want to cover and the number of people who are getting into the rickshaw. And then we have the Mount Fuji. The Yamanashi prefecture is where Mount Fuji is there. This is a mini sheet that you have there. And the mini sheet is with pictures of Mount Fuji. Yamanashi countryside is well known for its fruit production, and one can see orchards and vineyards. The Koshu and Yamanashi cities were the many fish orchards, and from early to mid-April, the pink blossoms create lovely views with Mount Fuji in the background. Please see this stamp. I've enlarged and put that stamp in the shallow of 12,388 foot tall Mount Fuji. In the shadow, the beautiful Lake Yamanaka, part of the Fuji 5-lake system, is home to a variety of whimsical boats. Okay, because Mount Fuji is there are 5 lakes around that. And then Yamanaka ship is a popular swan-shaped cruise ship. That's what you see, the yellow, the white big swan ship. It's there. Phonic, if you see, Phonic subutala, more strokes, more pink, mountain strokes, is a perennial creeper growing to a height of 6 inches and covering 20-inch wide 510 millimeter area. The small 5-petal flower bloom in rose, mauve, blue, white, or pink in the late spring to early summer. It's called Fuji Shiba Sakura Festival in 2015 at Kawajiko. That's one of the lake areas. Then we have the Mount Fuji, known as a natural beauty, but a spectacular visual effect known as a diamond Fuji occurs when the sun is rising and setting, causing a sun's rays to look like a diamond. You can see the diamond Fuji there. Whenever people link or think of Fuji, typically to one of the first images that come to their mind is Mount Fuji, because Japan is always connected to Mount Fuji. And when we travel from in the Shinkansen, Tokyo to Osaka, on the right-hand side, we see Mount Fuji through the window. Not on all days you can see Mount Fuji, because the low-lying clouds will be covering the thing. You're lucky if you can have a good visual treat of Mount Fuji from a running Shinkansen. It is iconic status both inside the wonderful icon of Japan itself. Then Wakutama Pond, within the grounds of the Fujisan Hongo Sengon Taisha Shrine in Fujinomiya City, the Wakutama Pond, where water springs from lava like a ball to fill the pond, and has been designated as a natural monument. The Kohama Pond can be found in Rakujuan Park in front of the Mishima Station, and is a pond surrounded by beautiful Japanese gardens, being constantly filled with water escaping from the Mount Fuji Mishima lava flows. The mountain in Yamanashi and Shizuoka prefectures of central Honshu, Japan, about 10 kilometers west of Tokyo Yokohama metropolitan area. That's Mount Fuji. The Yamanashi prefecture is well known for its vineyards and wineries. The red wine of Yamanashi is very smooth and popular. And interestingly, in Japan, red wine is chilled and then served, unlike many places where the white wine is chilled. Of course, white wine is chilled, but red wine is certainly chilled and served in Japan. I think that's a very interesting way of drinking red wine in Japan. There are resorts from where you can enjoy the view of Mount Fuji while enjoying your wine too. Now, if you look at the stamp here, the stamp shows a view of Mount Fuji at the background, taken from Asagiri Plateau to the southwest of Mount Fuji, with cows in the foreground. The Asagiri Plateau is located at the northern part of the Fujinomiya, close to the border between Shizuoka and Yamanashi prefectures. Fujinomiya is considered as one of the best places to admire the beauty of Mount Fuji, Mount Fuji, right? Both the Shiraito and Otodome stop sound. Oto is sound, dome is tomeru, stop, Otodome. Falls. There are two falls called Shiraito and Otodome Falls, are a part of the Fuji Hakone Izu National Parks. The two located just a brief 5 minutes walk from each other. The falls are directly fed by the melting water from Mount Fuji and are revered both their natural beauty and their religious and historical significance. The Shirotoro Falls, a stunning 150 meters wide group of waterfalls, not a single falls, a group of, at that tumble from a height of 20 meters, and it is listed as UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Sites along with Mount Fuji. There are more than 1,000 Fuji Sengon shrines across Japan, dedicated to the Princess Kono Anasakumae, Anasakuya, the Shinto deity associated with Mount Fuji. Fuji Yoshida Sengon Shrine, formerly known as Kitaguchi Ango Fuji Sengon Jinja, is the main Sengon shrine in the north side of the mountain. The head of the shrine of them, there are a number of the same Sengon shrines are there, and the head of the shrine of all of them is the Fuji Hongo Sengon Taisha on the opposite side of the mountain Fujinomiya. Fuji Yoshida Sengon Shrine stands on the dense forest. At approach, lined by some lanterns and shaded by tall cedar trees. Now you see the red entrance gate, which is called Tori at Fuji Yoshida Sengon Shrine. Okay, concealed amid the ancient forest of foot of Mount Fuji stands the imposing 18-meter tall dark red Tori gate. It marks the entrance to the sacred Fuji Yoshida Sengon Shrine. The shrine is also the original starting point of the Fuji Yoshida trail, which runs up all the way up to the mountain summit. Just behind the shrine's main hall, and there is a simple wooden torii gate that indicates the trailhead. Then we go to the next one is Kyushu. We are moving away from Fuji and Kyushu. Kyushu is an island which is mountainous. This is one of the 4 major islands of Japan, and Japan's most active volcano, Mount Aso, 1,591 meters. Another active volcano is Sakurajima, also in Kyushu. There are many other signs of tectonic activity, including numerous areas of hot spring. And this southern tip also normally gets a good rainfall, and the typhoon comes and strikes at where the Sakurajima is there. This place is called Kagoshima. Kagoshima gets, even this year, there was a good lot of typhoon activities in Kagoshima. The most famous are the, if you look at number of areas which have got a lot of hot springs in Kyushu because the volcanic activity. Now, the most famous area is called the Beppu, which is on the eastern shore and around Mount Asu in central Kyushu. These are areas where you have a lot of volcanic activity. Therefore, hot stream onsens are there. You can see in a city like Beppu, everywhere steam coming out of the ground. And also the very famous Asia Pacific University is there, located in Beppu, where many students from all over the world are coming and studying. The island is separated from Honshu by the Kammon Strait. Historically, it's a gateway to Japan. The total area is 36,782.37 kilometers square, which makes it the 37th largest island in the world. It's slightly larger than Taiwan for a comparison. Kyushu includes 7 prefectures of Fukuoka, Saga, Nagasaki, Kumamoto, Kangashima, Miyazaki, and Oita. Traversing the Kokonoe Yume Grand suspension bridge. I've also shown that picture. In the western Oita prefecture is like walking across the sky. It is Japan's longest and loftiest pedestrian bridge. Only pedestrians can go. You have to take a bus and go there and then walk across the thing. You can see a beautiful view of the entire gorge, as if you can see clouds touching you on going. Okay. It presents a panoramic scene of Oita's very beautiful, vibrant country yard, including 2 waterfalls, the Naruko River and the valley 173 meters below. So that's the Oita Prefecture's beauty. Now, My Journey Kyushu is a stamp sheet that is released on 5th of September 2018. This shows you, I have just taken those stamps and showing you that they're all done by die cut because they're all self-adhesive stamps. All 10 stamps, 62 ions is the face value. Now we have the first stamp I see, you can see, Nishi Oyama Station. Yeah, Nishi Oyama Station, you can see a mountain looking like Fuji, but not Fuji. Most of the volcanic mountains, they take a similar shape. Okay, Nishi Oyama Station is a railway station on the Ibuzuki Mokurazaki line in Ibuzuki, Kagoshima, and unmanned and opened in 1960. It is the southernmost train station in Japan Railways. It is a die-cut self-adhesive stamp of size 27 by 23 millimeters. Then we have the Sakurajima, which is Cherry Blossom Island. It's an active composite volcano, formerly an island, now a peninsula in Kagoshima Prefecture. The lava flows of the 1914 eruption connected it with the Osumi Peninsula, and it is the most active volcano in Japan. The mountain is a part of the Kagoshima Bay known as Kinko Van. Then there are some interesting things about this area. Shirokuma, if you translate it, it will be white bear. It's Kagoshima's most shaved ice in Japanese desert, made from shaved ice, flavored with condensed milk, small colorful mochi, fruits, and sweet bean paste, which is normally azuki bean paste, and they beat the heat. This ice cream, shaved ice cream, they'll beat the heat during those hot summers. And because it's the southern island, it will be really hot. And in Japan, and one needs to go to Kagoshima just to grab a pack of Shirokuma ice cream, because you may get Shirokuma most of the places in Japan, but the Shirokuma in Kagoshima is very specific for its thing, and you can get it also. Shirokuma, you can also get it in any 7-Eleven shop. Also, I've shown you what is that you can get here anywhere in Japan is a Shirokuma in 7-Eleven shop. Then you have a yellow post office, post box, not post office. I'm sorry, yellow post box, and Nishi-Oyama Station. As I tell you just now, Nishi-Oyama Station is the southernmost railway station. The yellow post box seems to be the symbol of Nishi-Oyama Station, Japan's southernmost JR station. The most of the post boxes in Japan are usually red, and there is a unique yellow post box of Japan's southernmost JR island, Nishi-Oyama Station. This yellow mailbox incorporates the cheerfulness of the color yellow with Ibusuki's famous yellow nano hana flower. I've also shown you what is Ibusuki's nano hana. This is our nano hana. So the box at Ibusuki has been painted yellow. Then Takachiho Gorge, located in Miyazaki Prefecture in scenic Takachiho Gorge. The gorge has been designated as one of the national scenic natural monuments in Japan. Owing to the impressive waterfalls and vibrant autumn foliage surrounding the area, visitors to Takachiho Gorge enjoy the scenery with padding through the valley on a natural boat, on a rental boat, allowing a close-up view of the 17-meter Manai waterfalls. This is a self-adhesive stamp, die-cut, printed offset lithography, and size 27 by 23. Then we have the Minani no Taki. Taki is waterfalls again. Minani no Taki is the foremost Miyazaki. The Gokase River runs through the gorge, comprises the volcanic base basalt columns, where 17-meter high Minani no Taki waterfalls pours down on the awestruck tourists below who are paddling on the iconic rowboats. You can paddle yourself, 2 people get in the boat through the narrow chasm. The stamp is of 23 by 27 and in a portrait format, and it's self-adhesive. This is what we have shown here. Then we have the Takasakiyama Monkey Park. The Mount Takasaki Wild Monkey Park is in the western end of the city of Oita. on the steep slopes of mountain. This popular park is home to more than 1,000 wild Japanese monkeys who come down from the mountain to gather at the park every day. No nets or fences are separating the visitors from these monkeys. Okay, and then we have the mango. The southern island of Kyushu is also famous for its Miyazaki mangoes. It'll be interesting to know at almost $4,000 a pair. Unsurprisingly, the Miyazaki mangoes are some of the priciest pieces of fruit in the world. Miyazaki mangoes are from a Irwin Valley of mangoes that have originated in Florida and grown in greenhouses. Each Miyazaki mango is tended very meticulously, carefully, into hope that will grow into and ripen into a perfect piece of fruit. But only 10% of the Miyazaki mangoes will be labeled in Taiyo no mango. Taiyo no mango, which means the egg of the sun. Taiyo no tamago. Taiyo no tamago is egg of the sun. And this is the highest grade and the most expensive type of mangoes in Japan. So everybody tries to grow them, but only 10% of what is grown will go into the categories called Taiyo no tamago. Then we have in Kyushu, in Beppu, Umijigoku, the sea hell. What is hell? Okay, the hell of Beppu, the hell is the Jigoku, is a 7 spectacular hot springs, the onsen hot springs, for viewing rather than bathing. Okay, displaying in one of them, you can just put your foot, you can feel the hot water flowing through your feet in one of the Jigoku, and then bathing, displaying steaming ponds of various colors, bubbling mud pots, and also hydrothermal activity. There's one thing where there are a lot of crocodiles also there in captivity. And Kanwa district is where there are all these hells, the 7 hells are there in Beppu. And one of the most beautiful hells is the sea hell, featured a pond of boiling blue water in a spacious garden. There are a few smaller ones also. Then there's the Golden Scale Lake and Yufu Mountain. Yufin is a city in Yufu district in Oita Prefecture, Kyushu. There are regular trains going from one place to another. Yufin is approximately 400 meters above the ground. And Yufin is famous for the natural hot springs and hot spring spas, what we call as onsen, resulting in a local economy based on domestic tourism, gift shops and hot springs, a bathing golden scale lake and UFO mountain in winter, sunny days with clear blue sky. These are all popular sightseeing spots, commonly viewed and photographed by the tourists in Yufin. Then the next stamp sheet is also on Kyushu, which is on 5th of September 2018. Now, this is the first stamp that you see. The stamp sheet is, of course, 67.5 by 187 millimeters. That's the stamp sheet that you see, released in 2018. Of course, all of them are self-adhesive die-cut stamps, and their value is 82 ends face value per stamp, and 10. You buy a sheet and take out whatever stamps you want. Okay. Daisaifu Temmangu is a Shinto shrine in Daisaifu, Fukuoka Prefecture. It is built over a grave of Sugawara no Michizane, 1845 to 1903, and one of the main shrines is dedicated to Tenjin. They define him as Michizune, the god of education. Okay, it is said Sugiura no Michizune was a great scholar, poet, and politician, everything, because he had a problem not seeing eye to eye with the shogun. He was expelled and sent to Kyushu Island. And then there were a lot of calamities and other things happened in Japan. So by then Sugiura died. So they made him as a god after posthumously, and he still today is considered as a god of education. He was a scholar, poet, and politician of the Heian period of Japan. Today is revered as Shinto as a god of learning. Then we have the Hakata noodles, originating in Fukuoka, one of the southern islands of Kyushu. Hakata ramen, otherwise known as Hakata noodle, is known as tonkotsu, is world famous for its rich pork bone broth and perfectly at dented noodles. The noodles are typically very thin, white, and hard in texture. The noodle gets soggy when put in the hot soup. Then ikuradon seasoned ikura, Solomon on rice. Ikura or Solomon roe plays a huge part in the Japanese cuisine. One of these dishes is called ikuradon, famous local food in Hokkaido. They usually eat ikuradon and chanchan yaki during the peak season of Solomon fishing. That is from September to October. There is a rice ball. It's easy to make, so it is also a very favorite dish with the locals. The rice ball and the Solomon together, they become the ikuradon. Then we have the Arita porcelain. Okay, Japan has one of the oldest pottery traditions in the world, stretching it back to 10,000 years. World famous Japanese porcelain has more specific starting point. Arita, a town in Saga Prefecture. Saga Prefecture is also very well known for the international balloon competition because the wind in Saga is very helpful. In the early 16th century, a Korean plotter called Yu Sam-pyong discovered porcelain clay, the first known deposit in Japan, and quickly kilns sprung up all over the Arita area and got to work producing Japan's first porcelain. Its proximity to the Dutch trading post at Nagasaki and the political instability in China but I think over a period of time, this Dutch post in Nagasaki definitely helped this trade of Arita porcelain, and the instability in China also one of the political reasons that helped, and the small town Arita became the porcelain capital of the world. Then journey in Kyushu, the Karatsu Castle, the Dancing Crane Castle is what they call. The centerpiece of Saga Prefecture, city of Karatsu, is a hilltop castle. It is also known as a Maizuru Castle because the castle resembles the head of a crane, or the suru in Japanese, and the curving coastline resembles the crane spreading its wings. One unusual feature only seen among the few other castles is in the part of this fortress is it rises directly from the sea. That means the sea or the water itself acts as a moat, giving security and to the castle. And the cherry blossom will be on the grounds, makes it very scenic. Nagasaki at night. Nagasaki, this is the stamp that shows Nagasaki at night. Nagasaki has been chosen as one of the 3 world record night views alongside Hong Kong and Monaco. The sparkle of the city and the port seen from Mount Inasa, that's one of the beautiful sights of Nagasaki. 2, a dynamic night view from the Mount Nabekan Muri Park. And 3rd is romantic night view from Dejima Wharf, are the 3 beautiful sights of the night view of Nagasaki. Mount Inasa, the Inasayama, is a small mountain or hillock located on the western side of the Nagasaki city. It offers one of the 3 best night views and is accessible by a ropeway. Then we have the Suizenji Garden. Suizenji Garden is the traditional Japanese landscape garden in Kumamoto that is laid out as late as 1,600 years. Due to the enormous size of the 64 acres, it is often referred to as the Suizenji Park. Originally, it was planned by the Prince Hosokawa Tadatoshi to enjoy tea from the place because of its peace. Its name comes from the former Buddhist temple there, while the garden now houses a Shinto shrine where Hosokawa family is buried in the 17th century. Then we have the Aso from Daikambo Lookout. Daikambo Aso's most famous lookout point, offering stunning views of the Japan's largest grassland area and one of the world's largest calderas of Mount Aso. Okay, Daikambo is the highest peak along Mount Aso, outer mountain ring, and Mount Aso's 5 peaks plus the towering Kuju Mountains in the Oita prefecture nearby are also visible from here. Then we have the Kanazawa. Kanazawa is the capital city of Ishikawa prefecture in the Hokuriku region and is bordered by the Sea of Japan and to the west and the Toyama prefectures on the east. The city sits between the Sai and Asano rivers. The eastern portion of the city is dominated by the Japanese Alps. Parts of the city are within the borders of the Hokusan National Park. The name Kanazawa, which literally means March of the Gold, is said to derive from the legend of peasant Imohari Togoro, literally Togoro potato digger, who was digging for potatoes when flakes of gold washed up. And this well in the grounds of Kenro Koen and Kinju Reitaku to acknowledge the roots. The area was Kanazawa was originally known as Ishiura, whose name is perceived at the Ishiura shrine near the Kenro Koen. Now, my journey to Kanazawa is in 2019, September, in the date 4th of September. Kenro Koen, translated in English as Kenro Ken, means 6 attributes garden, which are the 6 attributes of a garden are spaciousness, seclusions, water course, panoramas, artifice, and antiquity. The stamp also shows a famous Kotoji lantern on the foreground. You can see the Kotoji lantern in the foreground, standing on 2 legs and with 2 supporting legs, resemble the bridge of a koto, your musical instrument, and the Japanese stringed instrument is called koto, that has got a bridge like this. So that is the speciality of this thing. Then we have the illuminated trees of the Six Attributes Garden. The illumination is particularly beautiful in winter when the pine trees are tied up with yukitsuri. Yukitsuri is a Japanese technique for preparing trees and shrubs from heavy snow. The trees are given extra support by bamboo poles, which with ropes attached to their limbs. The Higashi Tea House District, called Higashi Chaya District, is located in the Higashiyama area in Kanazawa, adjacent to the Asano River. It is the largest among the three well-preserved historical geisha districts in Kanazawa, along with the Nishichaya Gai and Kazuye Machi. The geisha still entertain there today. Kanazawa has three tea districts, and of the three districts, the Higashi Chaya district is the largest. Then we have a Mizuki or water pull. It's an ancient Japanese art of forming a knot tying. Most used decoratable envelopes or outline called kimpu, which are given to gifts to children or during the New Year or anybody during the holidays, all that. The Japanese New Year, then called as Otoshidamma, in which there will be some small currency and then it's done with a tied with a knot and presented. The special occasions such as births and weddings. The tea house interior, the chasitsu, the tea house that provide the serene atmosphere and the very sense of ceremony itself is what makes it the tea house's interior. The interior adds to the serenity of the tea ceremony. Give me a minute. Then we have the Kutani ware porcelain. Kutani ware is a style of Japanese porcelain that originated in and near Kutani, now part of Kaga, Ishikawa, in the former Kaga province. Kutani is located in the northwest coast of Japan. Kutani means 9 valleys. And around the middle of 17th century, porcelain stone was discovered near the Kutani mines of the Daishoji clan, who learned how to make porcelain from the master Kakeyamon. Then we have the Nagamachi was samurai district. The stamp shows that Nagamachi is located at the foot of the former Kanazawa castle, where samurai and their families used to reside. The area preserves the historic atmosphere with the remaining samurai residence, earthen walls, private entrance gates, narrow lanes, and water canals. Southmost of the Kanazawa castle lies the Nagamachi Samurai district, a neighborhood where samurai of the powerful Maeda clan, the rulers of Kanazawa and the old Kaga domain, once lived during the Edo period, that is 1603 to 1867. Then we have a samurai house there. Still, these houses are, some of them are left out for people to see. When the Maeda lords moved into Kanazawa in the late 16th century, they brought with them numerous retainers who settled with the Nagamachi district, which southern Kanazawa castle. Just south of Kanazawa castle. The home of one of those such loyal retainer, the Nomura clan, remains as an example of Edo-era architecture. A few trees of the garden date back to 4 centuries. A small tea room sits up, and an old stone staircase, and the veranda overlooking the property. They're all a part of the samurai house. Okay. Gyakusen Inmaru Garden is a small Japanese garden located at Kanazawa Castle Park in Kanazawa. It's in Ishikawa Prefecture. The garden is located up against a 22nd tall castle wall and consists of a lake with 3 islands, a waterfall, and a circular walking path, plus small bridges between these islands. The garden has a small tea room or a tea house where most days of the year visitors can buy matcha green tea with Japanese sweets called the wagashi sweets. Then Kanazawa is also famous for the Japanese sweets, wagashi sweets. Wagashi are traditional Japanese sweets that are typically enjoyed in combination with a cup of green tea. They were made in wide variety of shapes and consistencies and with diverse ingredients and preparation methods. Some of them are very popular across the country around the year, while others are only available regionally and seasonally. But some of when we talk about wagashi, sugar is one of the important ingredients to make it like a real good sweet. And then we have the Kaga Yuzen, silk dyed pattern. Kaga Yuzen is intricate hand painted silk dyeing that Kanazawa is famous for. Kenji Maeda is one of the Kanazawa's greatest Kaga Yuzen artisans, and Kaga Yuzen itself is anything but mundane. Traditional Japanese garments are always beautiful, and those made with Kaga Yuzen decorated silk are among the most spectacular kimonos and other garments which are coming out of that place. Then we have once again another stamp series of My Journey in Kanazawa, which is again in 2019. Then we have that first stamp is Oyama Shrine. The shrine was established in 1599, dedicated to Maeda Toshie, the first lord of Kaga domain of Utatsuyama. It was moved to the present location in 1873 and renamed as Oyajima Jinja. Oyama Jinja. The main gate was constructed in 1875. The gate is a particular mix of traditional Japanese, Chinese, and European religious architecture. Then we have the drum gate of the new Kanazawa station. Since Kanazawa was lots of rain and snow, they built a glass dome called Motenashi Welcome Dome to provide shelter for visitors. This gigantic dome is supported by 2 massive pillars, which are modeled after the Japanese drums used in Kaga Honshu, the traditional no performance in the region. Then we have the Kenrokoen, the 6 attributes garden in Kanazawa, about which we already talked about, where the leaves start changing color sometime in October. The peak autumn color usually comes in mid-November, and you can usually see colors of the trees until mid-December. This is an average year. Thus, in an average year, the foliage season Kanazawa lasts from 15th October to 15th December, with a peak around 15th November. Pine trees in the winter in Japan often have a umbrella shape of ropes strung from the pole above them and reaching down to the lower branches. Please kindly see the photograph on the left-hand side bottom. That's in the snow. There's heavy snow that falls on the thing. These trees are all, these pine trees, they can get loaded with the thing and they may bend and break also. So what they do is they do this yukitsuri, a conical array of ropes built to support the branches of the tree and thereby prevent them from breaking under the weight of the heavy snowfall in winter of Korakuen, famous for 200 years old pine trees. Setting up with the Yukitsuri starts in November 1st and they remain almost until the March 15th, when by the time the winter is over and the spring is showing its face. Then we have the Kaga Hachiman Okiagiri doll. The words put together mean a doll that wakes up, made in Kaga region in the Hachiman god, for the Hachiman god. That's the meaning of this thing. A doll that wakes up, made in Kaga region for the Hachiman god. The traditional craft found in Kanazawa is gifted to those who are expecting a baby and wish that baby will grow healthy. And the reason why it is given to the doll is because the doll can rise after being pushed over. Therefore, it is always rises after falling, and hence means you can always bounce back stronger and healthier. Then Kaga Temari. Kaga Temari is a yarn ball. It's a tradition said to start when Lady Tamahime brought them to Kaga district, Kaga clan, when she married into the Tokugawa family in the Edo period. Every stage of the processing making this doll, from creating the base to each needle, weave the pattern, is performed by in a traditional way, resulting in the charming beauty. In Kaga, the old technique of using the Kaga thimble. Thimble is what a tailor is normally wear on their fingers, a metal thimble with which they try to take the thread and needle through without hurting their finger top. And then we have the Kanazawa Castle. Kanazawa Castle is a large, partly restored Japanese castle. It is located adjacent to the celebrated Kenroku Garden, which once formed the castle's private outer garden. It was the headquarters of Kaga domain, ruled by the Maeda clan. Kanazawa Castle is located at the center of the castle town, which consisted of numerous features which added to the overall defensive situation. The castle is built on the highest ground between Sai and Asano rivers. A system of moats and canals surround the castle for the extra protection. Then we have the next food item that's coming up. Kaizen Domburi, bowl of rice topped with seafood. Kaizen Domburi is a colorful rice bowl dish made with a variety of fresh seafood. Kaizen Don is a bowl of fresh sashimi and other seafood on a bed of white rice. The fish used vary depending on the region and the season and personal preferences. It is said to have been created after World War II to spread from there to northern Japan. So spread from northern Japan to other parts of Japan. Then we have the Okayama sheet. It is 2020, 14th January. Okayama Barazushi is a sushi made from the seasoned vegetables and seafood from the Seto Inland Sea. During the Edo period, Mitsumasa Ikeda, the first lord of the Okayama domain, encouraged frugality and issued a thrifty order called Shokuzen shall be one soup dish. It is said that the common people rebelled against it and they began to eat it as a barazushi with fish and vegetables on top of the rice with one dish, even if you pull it on the rice. This is the birth of barazushi there. You can see barazushi stamped there. The sheet is, of course, 2000. The sheet was, I'm sorry, the small mistake. It's not 2020, this 2022. The sheet was released on 14th January 14, 2022. Needs to be corrected. And then they're all self-adhesive. Let's see the stamp. Kurashiki Bikan district, from the very early days of the Edo period, Kurashiki had been established as the head office of the distribution of trading center for goods and the materials known as Japanese Kurashiki Daikancho. Kurashiki became a historical quarter, is called as the Venice of Japan because it's got all the waterways through which the thing was transported, with the warehouses lined along the canal, and the canal was filled with the fish called koi. Koi is very, you all would have also heard in the month of May, Japan, they celebrate Koi Nobori Boys Day, which means the koi is one fish that will swim against very strong currents. They want the boys to become strong like that to take up any adversary and then go against it and win. So the canal is filled with a lot of koi. Okayama, known as the land of sunshine, is famous for its fruits, including peaches and muscat. Okayama City of Fruit Parfaits is a city promotional campaign launched in 2009 so that locals and visitors can easily enjoy delicious locally grown fruits. With over 330 stores that serve a variety of fruit parfaits in Okayama City, it is called the City of the Fruit Parfaits. Kurashiki Ivy Square is a complex brick building covered with ivy that include museums, restaurants, and a hotel. The area was the site of the first modern cotton mill in Japan, and the brick buildings were originally built as a part of the mill in 1889. During the Edo period, 1603 to 1867, before the construction of the mill, the site was used as an office for the magistrate of the district, controlling the representative, who was the controlling representative of the shogun in that area. Then we have the Kurosaki Bikinchiku. Large quantities of rice from the surrounding area were brought into Kurosaki and immediately stored there in stored warehouses or storehouses before being shipped to Osaka and Edo. Because of the city's importance in the rice trade, Kurosaki was put under the direct control of the shogunate through his magistrate, and the city was even named after its many storehouses as Kura. Canals were built to allow boats and barges to navigate between the city's storehouses and nearby ports. The city's former canal system has been preserved in the Bikan historical quarter called the Kurosaki Bikanchiku. Then we have the Sankojiyama Ropeway. It's a Japanese aerial lift line in Onomichi, Hiroshima, operated by the city government. Opened in 1957, the line climbs Mount Senkoji of Senkoji, famous temple. Senkoji Park around the temple is famous for its cherry blossom in spring. There are some unique rocks that are visitors and you can experience training to climb these rocks. Once one can take Senkoji ropeway from Senkoji Yama Fumoto station to Senkoji Sancho station and get onto Senkoji. Senkoji temple, you can see the stamp down below. Senkoji temple is located on the mountain sides of the mounts Senkojiyama and centuries old history since the establishments in 1806. The main building is called Akado. Aka is red, so red hall, and as the name suggests, is painted with a bright vermilion red pigment. Various lucky amulets are available for traffic safety, family well-being, passing exams, love and marriage. They are all sold in Senkoji. The Tatara Bridge is a cable-stayed bridge that is a part of the Nishiseto Expressway, commonly known as Shimanami Kaido. The bridge has a center span of 890 meters. The Kurashime Kaikyo Bridge is one of the three routes of the Honshu Shikoku Bridge project route across the Seto Inland Sea. The bridge was opened on May 1st, 1999, stands against the green and yellow lemon fields. Lemon, okay. Ikuchijima Setoda is the island in Shimanami Kaido Expressway runs through. Is known as being the leading producer of the domestically grown lemons. From the early days when they imported lemons, saturated the market, local producers joined forces and started producing lemons that were both tasty and safe to eat, establishing the Setoda lemon brand. In addition, producing lemons, the island also eats a wide variety of lemon products like lemon in this island called. That's why this with all the lemon and the products called as the lemon island. Then Onomichi, cat of the Onomichi is called Onomichi Cat Alley is a cat's lover's paradise. In 1997, Shuji Sonoyama, a French artist, found inspiration in a few abandoned sloping streets winding their way through Onomichi. The area known for its art galleries, garden and caves, sake bars, and Fukushineko, that is lucky stone cats. Shuji Sonoyama had painted 108 of these cats, stone cats, each unique with different expression. And visitors can find this lined up in line of statues on fences, on trees, on roofs, and within the caves. It is believed you will receive a good fortune if you stroke the head 3 times of any of the cat. There is a Maneki Neko Museum, which houses the collection over 3,000 Maneki Neko. The symbolism behind the Maneki Neko cats differs depending on which paw is raised. The Maneki Neko is a cat which raises the form and calls the customers to come to the shop, which says if the left paw is raised, it will bring customers and invite people. If the right is raised, then it will bring money and good fortune. That's what they say. Onomichi and Kuroshiki, if you see this again, 2022 1401, that is 14 January is this sheet. The narrow Onomichi channel running 6 kilometers east-west between mainland and Mukaishima Island has been good natural harbor. In ancient times, envoy ships of the Chichiba to China, Tang harbored, there's a port that harbored them. In 1168, it became a storage place and later developed into a trading port dealing with China, the Ming Dynasty. The vast white sand beach called Toda Sunset Beach, with 800 meters long white sand, is a beach sports park that has been certified as one of the 88 best beaches in Japan. Located in Ikuchi Island, in the middle of the Shimanami Kaido and in the middle part of the Shimanami Kaido cycling road, it has been a rental cycle terminal. And we have the Kaiunto Pagoda, Tennenji Temple. This 3-storied pagoda is located in grounds of the Seto sect of the Zen Buddhism temple in Tennenji, founded by Fumio Kokushi, high priest. It was a 5-storied one first started when the temple was established, and in 1388, but the top 2 stories were supposed to have been removed in 1692. It is designated as an imperial cultural property and is known to be Kaiunto. Onomachi ramen. Onomachi ramen is flavored with pork, seafood from the Seto Inland Sea, chicken and the dashi, or chicken or dashi. The broth is served hot with flat wheat noodles of medium thickness and a generous serving of sibura, pork back fat. The topping may vary, but They typically include spring onions, roast pork, and bamboo shoots. This is introduced in 1940. Enoshima Suigun Castle is a museum in the Naka No-Sho town area of Enoshima Island, making it an ideal place for group to be headquartered. There was once a deep inlet there, and located halfway up the hill. This is the castle gate. The current building comprising of Enoshima Suigun Castle was constructed in 1983. Kuroshiki Bikan District 1 and 2, the historic Bikan district of Kuroshiki, is a postcard pretty narrow streets, merchant houses, traditional shops, restaurants, and friendly cafes, and are located alongside a quiet stretch of the Kuroshiki River, bound by bridges, a 20-minute boat cruise on the ideal way to see all this area from the water side, okay, and translated as a warehouse village. And Kuroshiki was the center of trade in 17th century. The locals in the part of the city have worked very hard to maintain the traditional feel of the Edo era, even now in the city. Then we have the Seto Ohashi Bridge, the Muscat of Alexandra, commonly known as Muscat of Japan, is a grape with good taste and texture. Okayama is known for its fabulous grapes in season from May to December. The most famous varieties include delicious taste and smell. Muscat grapes are nicknamed as Queen of Fruits. The legend of Momotaro, who vanquished the Ogres, developed in Okayama, which is famous as a peach producing region, thanks to the beneficial climate and soil. The Great Seto Bridge, or Seto Ohashi, is a two-level bridge of viaduct complex, rail and road, completed in 1988, linking the islands of Honshu and Shikoku across the Seto Inland Sea on a series of 5 small islands in Japan. It's a part of the largest suspension bridge on the world and the longest two-tier bridge in the world. The bridge is earthquake and typhoon proof, and compared to the 1-hour ferry between the different on the islands, okay, especially between Undo and Takamatsu, the drive across the bridge can take only 15 minutes. And then we go to Japan's denim capital. In the last 2 decades, Okayama Prefecture in the western Honshu has become the famous place around the world for the main source of Japan's high-quality, vintage-inspired jeans. This area was once had its own spinning and weaving and dyeing. All those things were there. So that's a natural thing was when that line was going down, they had to find out something else. So they went on to denim. And within Okayama, denim make people who have interest in denim, the companies make a pilgrimage to a small seaside city called Kojima, Japan's denim capital. I also happened to visit that, and right from the station you can see a lot of different denims, jeans hanging as the station. It's a one street, that's all, but all the denim companies are there. The story of Japanese jeans often begin with many centuries ago with the rise of small-scale cotton agriculture and textile industry around Kojima. In this context, jeans seems to make a natural and obvious outgrowth of the region that made the region rich. Now it has become rich, but of course, the region was already rich in cotton, indigo dyeing, weaving, and sewing. And Kojima is in Kuroshiki City, Okayama Prefecture, One can see varieties of jeans hanging as you walk out of the station. Hokkaido. Hokkaido is what it means is Northern Sea Circuit is Japan's second largest island and comprises the largest and northernmost prefecture, making its own region. The Tsugaru Strait separates Hokkaido from Honshu, and the two islands are connected by a undersea railway tunnel called Seikan Tunnel. The tunnel is so well done. Two Shinkansen go in the opposite direction simultaneously without any problem of vibration or sucking with the air in between them. The Japanese settlers began their migration to Hokkaido in 17th century, which often resulted in clashes and revolts between Japanese and local Ainu population native to this island. In 1869, following the Meiji Restoration, Ezo was the name given by the Ainu. So to the island, Ezo was annexed by Japan under ongoing colonial practices and renamed as Hokkaido. In 1993, an earthquake of magnitude 7.7 generated a tsunami which devastated Okushiri, killing 202 inhabitants. An earthquake of magnitude 8.3 struck near the island September 26, 2003. On September 6, 2018, the earthquake magnitude 6.6 struck with the epicenter near the city of Tomokomi, causing blackout across the whole island. Now, this is the stamp mini sheet that is there. It's a multicolor mini sheet released on 2020 and 160 by 86 die cut. And you have, if you see, you have 5 stamps of 84 yens value. In 1860, the first Orthodox Church of Japan, the Church of Resurrection of the Lord, the Hakodate, was built. At first, it was an affiliated church to the Russian consulate, later as a church of standing in the birthplace of Japanese Orthodox Church. Today, many people visit it as a national importance cultural property and as one of Hakodate's tourist bases. Hakodate is a city you will, as soon as you cross the sea between Honshu and Hokkaido, the first city where the Shinkansen will stop is Hakodate. And from there, from the railway station, it's not very far. You can even walk and go to this castle that is there, which I will show you. Then we have the old public hall at Hakodate Ward. The following the opening of the Hakodate port to foreign trade, European influence began shaping in the city. A prime example of this was the old public hall of Hakodate. Completed 1910, the hall is stunning showcase of the elegance of the colonial structure. I've shown some photographs also down below. Then we have the Hakodate tram. It's one of the several cities in Japan that continue to operate trams, also known as streetcars. While the network has been reduced in a scale over the years, Hakodate trams are still very convenient way to see the sightseeing spots, including Goryokaku, Motomachi, and Mount Hakodate ropeway. The trams are also fun for people who enjoy photography. Some of the cars have a vintage look and some of them very modern in appearance too. Then Goryokaku Tower. The Tokugawa shogunate dispatched high-ranking officials called Hakodate magistrates to be in charge of the negotiations with foreign countries and also administer this place. The magistrate was protected by a fort away from the port and in the downtown area. It took nearly 7 years for the construction. A star-shaped fort was constructed. It was nearly completed in 1863 in the heart of the city in downtown area. The fort has been named as Goryokaku. Star-shaped castles were invented around the 16th century in Europe. So taking that, the modern tower was built, and now we have a modern tower built next to that star-studded, star-shaped Koryokoku castle. We have a tower to which you can, top of which you can go by a lift and see. Now, Kanamori red brick warehouses. Hakodate port opened in 1859 as one of the first international trading ports of Japan, along with Yokohama and Nagasaki. Okay, flourishing as a port, the city has been countless people and cultures, some come and go. And Kanamori red brick warehouses, the first commercial warehouses in Hakodate, and they witnessed the history of the city through the warehousing business. As one of the symbols of the Hakodate Bay Area, that still reminds us that much of the early days of the shipping industry use. Okay. Kumashiro Watanabe, who founded the first warehouse business in Hakodate, came to Hakodate from Nagasaki in 1863 when he was 24 years old. In 1869, he founded the former Kanamori head Habershed's shop, which now houses the Municipal History Museum, and former Kanamori ship chandelier shop, which sold imported products and which took care of ship chandling. So thank you all for joining me today, and see you next week. Thank you. Thank you very much.